they generally include various fees and charges for both the buyers and the sellers that need to be covered. These costs can vary depending on the location, the property price, and other specific circumstances. So we thought today we might go and put up an example for a property, in Bunbury that would sell, and what sort of fees that would be involved in that. So typically for a property, let's say this one sold for $327,500, a very specific number. The transfer duty on the contract was $9,880. Now, when it talks about transfer duty, that is your stamp duty. If you're not sure about where you can work out how to calculate that amount, we actually have a stamp duty calculator on our website, so at umbrellarealty.com.au. Feel free to visit that. You can type in the purchase amount, specifics, and it'll actually give you an estimate on that stamp duty. The other thing to think about as well is obviously your fee for your settlement agent. So obviously these can vary depending on price, but in this case it's about $1,900. Typically, it usually ranges depending on the price of the property between $700 all the way up to $2,500. Also depends on whether you're using a settlement agent, a solicitor. Obviously solicitors and lawyers are very good at what they do. They've got degrees, so the cost for them is a lot higher. In that as well, you'll have other fees in regards to your settlement agent costs, such as your PEXA fees, your landgate fees. There's all these other standard fees that are included in that as well. So your settlement agent fee might come back at $800, however, the actual total fee might end up being close to $1,500 to $2,000. But that would all be on your settlement agent quote. So us as agents, we always provide 2 to 3 quotes. We don't get any referring everyone. The other thing you might potentially need to think about is your cost for your reports if you haven't paid for them directly. So that might be your termite, your structural report. And then you've obviously got little adjustments of rates, and this is where people often forget about this sort of thing. So when you purchase a property, you take over the water rates from the date that it's settled. So obviously the seller is obligated to pay for the rates if they haven't already to a certain period, and then the buyer obviously either reimburses or pays the remainder for the quarter. You also have City of Bunbury fees, you might have APWest fees, and again these are all shown on your statement of accounts. What you'll particularly find is prior to settlement, the settlement agents will hold a particular amount for those, because they obviously can only be calculated once settlement occurs. Once the settlement occurs, they charge whatever is outstanding, and they actually refund the rest of the amount to your bank account that's nominated. Something else to think about is land tax if it is applicable, strata levies if it is applicable. So really you can see that's where you may purchase, in this case, a property for $327,500, but all those other fees have led it to be $342,756.03. So it's super important that you have a clear understanding, and if you're not sure about what's involved, you can obviously refer back to this video, otherwise reach out to us. We're obviously happy to guide you as best we can. Otherwise, reaching out to a settlement agent or a solicitor or someone like that to get a better understanding, or simply asking for some quotes, and that will give you a better idea of understanding of fees involved. If you've got questions, just let us know.